Hello and welcome to the Funcast. We'll be breaking down the Super Bowl coming up later. I'll probably talk about a little Pro Bowl, unfortunately, and then break down the latest episode of The Last of Us. But how you guys feeling?
Great, Bryant.
Raspy.
Oh, yeah.
Trent's got a sexy voice with us tonight.
Feeling a little raspy.
Yeah, everyone listening, this is Trent's flu game right now.
It's my laryngitis game.
Have you tried whiskey yet?
Yeah. So I had a little shot of moonshine. My in-laws bought back these little shooters of moonshine for me when they were in Myrtle Beach. So I did have the apple pie one earlier. It's pretty good.
I was gonna suggest some Horse Soldier.
Ooh, bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. Speaking of which, what's everyone drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Horse Soldier. How about you?
I'm drinking a Michelob Golden Light.
Hell yeah. Joey?
I'm drinking water.
I'm continuing the water on Mondays.
What about you, Brian?
Oh, I got 7-Up going on here. Trying to not have caffeine too late in the night. Otherwise, I'm just wired for sound until 1. Trying to take her a little easy.
But what about alcohol? What's that do to you?
I might break one out later. I got to get through this first.
All right.
But yeah, no, I would say we'll kind of jump into it here because we're gonna have probably a couple shorter pods week leading into the Super Bowl, just because we're down to one football game and we're kind of transitioning into the quote unquote off season because football is our biggest sport that we cover here. But we'll jump into it because it probably is the least we'll talk about. Pro Bowl. Did anyone even watch a significant chunk of it?
I watched about 2 swings of the long drive contest. That's it.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah.
Who had
I saw
longest drive?
Oh, no.
Some defensive back for the Buffalo Bills. I don't know who it was. Couldn't name it.
Okay.
Damar Hamlin.
Was not Damar Hamlin.
Oh.
I
Are you
couldn't
sure?
name him.
Are you sure?
I couldn't name him.
I've only seen a few highlights that were on the television while I was eating at Old Chicago yesterday. So that's all I've seen.
Yeah. I did turn it on for a little bit. It was kind of funny because every like snippet is talking about NFC to a victory in the postseason, but it was the Pro Bowl talking about win fucking flag football game. But I don't know, man. I'll be real honest. I kind of enjoyed we all bitched about it wasn't real, so they just went complete 180. They said, "Fuck it, let's do flag football. Let's do." The linemen had a competition where 5 linemen were pulling weights off and who could pull and push it the fastest. I don't know, something different. At least they're listening,
Right. I did watch about 5 minutes of the actual flag football game. I think the first one. I can't remember. I don't remember which one, but Dart and I were on the couch snoozing within 5 minutes of that. So it was good to fall asleep too. It's good to know that pre-Masters weekend, there's another weekend that I can take a nap on a Sunday and still wake up and there's sports on. So it was good.
Well, yeah.
I like how we're, just all like, the Pro Bowl is not real football. And then the NFL goes, all right, we're going to take it and make it the farthest thing from real football as we can figure out.
They tried to, it's a gathering of the best athletes and a celebration essentially of what they've accomplished.
Right.
So, it's really a celebration for them, is my opinion. But, they just try to make it fun and make it interactive where people could still maybe find some entertainment value in it, which I think it may have accomplished that. And I did see a clip where George Kittle was talking to Eli Manning. He was like, "Are you guys going to do this again next year?" And he was like, I don't know, maybe. He's like, "Oh, we should do kickball, We should do paintball, like just throwing out other like activities that they thought would be fun. So it seems like the players enjoyed themselves, which is probably the best thing. Is it's going to make it entertaining. So
Yep. I feel like if you got a group, like when they do that tight end summit, if you let them decide what the activities are going to be, it's going to be awesome because all of the tight ends are just goofy like that. It's pretty cool. And the stadium was packed, so that's kind of nice to see. If you flipped over to the NHL All-Star Game weekend, one, I heard it was terribly boring and just slow moving and it wasn't very appealing, and their stadiums were all empty. Like no one went to watch anything. I mean, one, they did it in South Beach, so that's kind of stupid anyway. But also, like it just sounds like it was just set up poorly, and then like the skills competition took like 2 hours to get everything set up, and then they still weren't ready, and blah blah blah. So at least the NFL put on a good show and had things going.
I saw a Twitter poll that like what has the best All-Star weekend, and it was NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB. I like the MLB just because like their game means something, and like the home run derby's sweet. Yeah, I like theirs.
For everything that Major League Baseball does wrong, their All-Star weekend is the best thing they do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that you guys are talking about making it appealing and entertaining the audience there. I changed it to watch the Pro Bowl a little bit. In between events, they had Ray Sherman. I don't know what they did the song Black Beetle from 5-6 years ago or whatever. And it was so funny. They were walking out in the most ridiculous outfits. Like you could tell they were kind of looking around. No one was looking at the field. Then they get on to perform. They did 2 songs in a row, and I've never seen more people that were like standing around. First off, it was like a bunch of like 60-year-old men in football jerseys, like just taking a video from their iPad. And I've never seen more people with their backs turned to an audience. Like literally everyone was just walking around, not watching the stage. And then when they like, any band, they do their encore and they play their song. They play back Black Beetle. I don't think anyone gave it. Like that was the crowd goes mild is the best way to describe it because no one gave a shit that they were there. I threw that tweet out there. That shit had hit some numbies. I had like 80 likes in like an hour. Nice. Everyone agreed with old Wilksy there. But honestly, the only other thing I really enjoyed was Peyton taking it way too seriously and trying to call a penalty with a minute left. And I think it was Justin Jefferson getting in his face, just like waving him goodbye and shit.
What was he upset about? I saw something about like you can't do that in flag football, so I don't know.
And didn't Kirk Cousins take a knee? Like you couldn't take a knee or something?
So the rule is you can't run a running play inside the 5-yard line, and that is considered a running play. So Peyton was pissed about it, that he should have had to throw the ball.
I like how he was the only one, and all the players are like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, he's the only one that knew or even cared about that rule, probably.
Right.
Literally, even the guys on the losing side are going like, I don't care about this extra $40,000 I'll make. I want to get the fuck out of Vegas now.
Yeah.
Derek Carr especially.
Or get to the casino.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to put this all on black anyways. Let's just get the hell out of here.
I think Derek Carr was actually feeling pretty good this weekend. He made a few comments.
Hell yeah.
That was the funniest thing. You ever been this hot in Vegas? No, that's probably why I'm leaving. On the nose, loved it, But no, honestly, overall, like I said, as much as we shit on it the week before, I tuned in a little bit. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, but it was just one of those like Joy said, it'll be a good nap weekend going forward. Now that I know it's actually somewhat interesting, you can watch some of it and not like missing big plays. Oh, you missed the kickball competition. Whatever. Move on to the next thing.
Yep. Why did they do part of it on Thursday? Was it in 2 different locations? I didn't look into this or anything. I'm just asking the question because
is that the skills competition? Was it in like the practice facility?
I think so.
It might have been. That's probably why, if they had it in the practice facility.
Yeah, those clips were like the quarterbacks were throwing. It looked like an enclosed wall, so I would have assumed that was like a practice facility. It's somewhere.
Right. Yeah, when we were recording Amateur Hour, I was pissed because, they started that at like 5 Central Time, and by the time I went to tune in, it was over. And, I mean, thank God Iowa women's basketball was on, but if I didn't have that to watch, I'd have been real angry.
Finally, women's basketball, so Joy can enjoy something.
Exactly.
It's the only good thing going on in Iowa right now.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, baby.
Oh, Iowa State men's basketball. We had a pretty good time this weekend, my friend.
I enjoyed it.
Don't know what you're talking about. Didn't watch.
Oh, jeez. Oh, we'll move on here. Before we actually jump to the one we can poke fun at, Vikings got Brian Flores as their DC. How you boys feeling?
Good. Can't hear Ryan.
Ryan, you're muted, bud.
Ryan.
I can't wait to see how well he handles his players. If it's going to be anything, how well he handled Tua is going to be as good or as poor. It depends on your opinion of that situation. But
We can't hear Ryan, but I can read his lips perfectly. He said, "It's the best we could get right now. Who was available? We got the best."
Yeah,
right,
that
Ryan?
is true. It's most likely an improvement over what you had with the defensive coordinator that was there for sure.
100%.
Hey,
There you are.
Sweet. Major difficulties tonight so far. Yeah, he was one of my top two of candidates for us to get. If it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be Mike Patine, and that could have been very rough. So yeah, very thankful about that. Very thankful nobody wants to go and coach Kyler, because that kind of made it so he dropped to us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No, it is kind of funny because they had the whole they were using me as a scapegoat and the tanking and everything else. And now it's like, okay, well, do you want to be the head coach over in Arizona? He's like, nah, I'll just be defensive coordinator. It's fine. I don't want to.
Does he still have a lawsuit against the NFL?
I don't know.
Probably.
Because that makes that.
I feel like if he did, he wouldn't be able to be employed.
That's what makes me hard to believe that he'd be considered a head coaching candidate. Because number one, he didn't completely flop like his owners wanted him to. The owner of the team wanted him to. So he went against ownership, and then he sued the NFL with it, which he went against ownership because he wanted to win. So that's a good sign for the Vikings.
I would tend to agree with that. I'm my computer's acting slow trying to look up the answer for you, but I don't know. Like you said, you literally cannot get worse at this point on the Vikings defense. So anything to improve, get the right mental attitude out there.
We were 31st. We can drop down a spot. Don't worry.
Technically, we can get.
Wait,
worse.
who was last? Was it the Falcons?
Couldn't even tell you.
I only asked because I think it was probably the Falcons.
But I mean, right now at this moment, I think the Vikings did get the best candidate. I feel.
Real quick, the Brian Flores lawsuit is currently on ice as the judge in the Southern District of New York decides whether to agree with Flores' attorneys and have the case in open court or side with the NFL and enter it into arbitration.
Okay.
So,
and Detroit was last.
Oh God! How did we not get
NFC
that?
North represent.
Exactly.
NFC North represent. We're good.
How didn't the best quarterback in Aaron Rodgers and the Packers not win that division with the last two defenses? How?
Yeah.
Just imagine if we had a top 15 defense, how much better the Vikings would have been.
Speaking of coaching hires, Sean Payton in Denver.
Yeah, huge.
He's been asked a interesting question here in the past couple days. Somebody asked him if he would be allowing team RW3 in the building, which is Russell Wilson's personal coaching staff that pretty much follow him everywhere and do everything for him. Sean Payton said, "Not in my house."
Good.
So,
Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting that he's taking that hard stance right out of the gate. Nah, that's not going to fly around here.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I know the Vikings fans absolutely hate Sean Payton, but he did have a winning team a lot of the time. That this last decade before Tom Brady got there, that was pretty much the Saints' division to lose. But yeah, I mean the Broncos. I don't think they wanted to go with Sean Payton, but I can't remember who their first candidate was. But they have to go for him. If you have that $250 million going into Russ Wilson, you have to spend extra money to get a coach to utilize him. You can't get rid of him.
I feel like that's kind of the situation down in Arizona, though, too. Like, that's the kind of coach that Kyler needs.
Yeah. No nonsense coach, but I mean, the thing we have literally in here, Kyler no new coach. Will anyone want to deal with that?
No.
It's funny. Cyclone Larry's kind of a trolley account for Iowa State. He put up the stipulation. What's a more ridiculous clause in a contract? 4 hours of studying in a week or scoring 25 points a game on offense?
I like how in less than 24 hours, Cyclone Larry has created an all-out Twitter war between UCF and Iowa State.
Oh, yeah.
We can definitely touch on that more on Amateur Hour, but yeah, it has been funny. Like, boy, by the way, like, Coastal Elites, they're a real thing because UCF thinks they're just going to fucking come in and run this conference. They didn't even run the American Athletic Conference. Yeah. They just think they're going to waltz right in and they got Kansas has barely won one winning season. Iowa State. It's like your school is garbage right now, and you haven't won anything of significance, and you put up a fake national championship. Okay.
I was just going to say they won a natty. Don't take that away from them.
Yeah, self-appointed.
Yeah. So Chris Williams and Brett Bloom today made the point, like, look how good TCU was when they came into the Big 12, and it took them like 10 years to acclimate. Yeah. UCF isn't near as good as TCU was when they came in. It's going to be rough a few years for UCF.
UCF's like argument is like, well, look how good Dylan Gabriel is. Like, once he got to Oklahoma, yeah, I know he was okay at UCF, but he has improved since coming here. But like I said, we can touch on that a lot more during the Amateur Hour.
I just thought that was funny.
The only team that you guys should be worried about coming in next year would be Cincinnati, and they're not even that good. Like,
I think BYU is going to be better. I think BYU at least plays a Power 5 schedule.
Yeah,
they play good schools throughout the year.
I do believe Bryant would be worried about that Houston team, who he said was underrated last year.
Yeah, they're underdogs again.
Maybe in basketball we'll be worried.
Okay, so the consensus that we came up with is worry about every other school besides UCF.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
UCF was like, you just rounded out. We got into the East Coast now. Thank you. Actually, yeah, they're in Orlando. They're East Coast. Mm-hmm. So that is the one thing we're going to get into the, Eastern time zone, I guess. I don't know, but no, I got
probably already are with West Virginia.
Yeah, well, shit, never mind. Yeah, so they didn't even do that one thing, but no, we kind of sidewinded there. I mean, literally, are there any coaches right now that stick out to you, like, who is going to want to take on Kyler and that ego and everything that comes with it? I guess ego is probably a bad thing. It's just there's so much bad juju in the air with him, with the contract thing and then losing, and his last coach trying and just kind of giving up at the end of the year. They don't got anything positive going on.
I say that, and their team's taking just backward steps this offseason with JJ leaving, probably D Hop's going to be leaving. I mean, it just seems like they're a team that's regressing and not really moving into a better situation.
When they arguably had the best coaching fit for him with Cliff. I mean, Cliff was a younger guy that could connect with him, and that didn't work out. In fact, they kind of hated each other towards the end there. So are you going to be able to get a hard ass that comes in? I don't think Kyler is going to make that. So I think they're in trouble no matter what they do.
Yeah. It's going to be rough to see what happens. I don't even know who's available right now. So,
yeah, it's
the two candidates are
Go ahead.
The two candidates are the OC from New York and Cincinnati, I believe.
Yeah, Kafka. He was the QB coach for Mahomes for a few years.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people that aren't seeing eye to eye, Lamar and the Ravens. I hadn't seen this this bit of news yet, but supposedly they're not quite agreeing on the new contract.
$100 million.
I would say he bet on himself
ridiculous.
and lost.
Yeah, you let Huntley come in and pretty much take his job, it seems like.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no drop off once Huntley came in. I don't feel like.
I think there was some, but I don't think he's the playmaker that Lamar is. But I don't think there's a $100 million difference in playmaking.
No.
Well, and it's guaranteed money too. He doesn't want to leave any on the table. He just wants it all like Deshaun Watson, which I think every team is smart now going, oh, well, let's see how Deshaun Watson did. Oh, shit the bed, and he has guaranteed, all of it guaranteed. Yeah, fucking no one is going to want a mobile quarterback under that much guaranteed money, and especially, like we all just said, that there wasn't a significant drop-off. There was no gain in Tyler Huntley playing better, but there was not a, holy shit, this team completely collapsed. They almost beat the Bengals in the playoffs. They were a lucky fumble because he stretched out with one hand 2 yards out from not winning that game, or from winning that game, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that this is probably just to drive up. It seems like that they have a relationship that's not going to be able to be salvaged. I think this is kind of just a drive up the price and see what I get in free agency type of thing and make sure the Ravens aren't even close. I don't know where he's going to go. I honestly, fingers crossed it's Atlanta. I would love to have another mobile quarterback down there.
There are definitely teams out there that have the cap to take him.
Right,
Atlanta's
exactly.
one of them.
Yep. I would love that. I hope they go for that or Derek Carr or someone like that. But I think that this is just kind of him putting it out there that him and the Ravens are not going to work and they're too far apart. I hope.
If Atlanta lands Lamar Jackson, they win the NFC South so easy next year.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's what you need. You need to win in the regular season and host playoff games. If you're Arthur Blank, you want people to come into your stadium and make money. You know, you're willing to pay that extra money that the Ravens will not because they did not see a significant drop. Mm-hmm. You compare them to Mariota, significant improvement.
Yep. I don't know, man. Those Panthers, they've got 3 quarterbacks that had better stats than Tyler Huntley. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta would need to fix their defense before them. No.
Yeah, I mean, they were middle of the road. They were average. The defensive rankings I was just looking at, they were 17th. So, I mean, it's not like it's completely terrible. Their offense is in need of more work than anything.
Yeah.
It helps they play in a shitty division, too. So, there's not a lot of teams with big numbers.
That was more what I was relying on. Shitty division. Tom Brady's not in there anymore. Saints ain't it. I mean,
right.
Like you said, Panthers might be the one legit, but you get a playmaker like Lamar, and you put a I don't know how your offensive line is, but just get some people that can protect him and all the plays that he doesn't need to be hit. I think it'll be fine.
How much trouble do you think Tom Brady is going to get into this offseason or this off year? Well, I mean, he's already out there shooting underwear pics.
Yeah,
right.
But he was hiding the meat.
He was one bad hand placement away from pulling a Brett Favre.
That picture was about as opposite of Arby's as it could get because it did not have the meats. That's all I'm going to say. That was like half of the comments. It's like, Tom, why are you covering up, dog? It's like, settle down. This is a public forum on Twitter. Jesus.
Do you think he is, since we're in Super Bowl week, do you think he'll be on the Super Bowl team this weekend? I think so. I mean, I don't think they bump Greg Olsen or anyone like that, but he's got to be part of it.
On Coward, he said he's not starting until 24.
Man, they're missing a huge opportunity to do that.
I really wonder who all they're going to bring in because I know, like, it seems like Gronkowski is going to be part of it from a certain spectrum. You got Greg Olsen, who's been pretty solid this year. I feel like he's been one of the better guys to watch. I don't know. I don't know if they would make any sort of highlight on him or maybe get him in for like a segment or something, but who knows?
It'd be smart of them to do that and then talk about like his retirement and what he plans on doing, blah, 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 all that hype type shit. So.
No, we're just going to talk about the Chiefs. Forget about, I don't care what Tom Brady's doing over the next couple of years.
Tom had the last
all the Patrick Mahomes content.
Yeah, he had 23 years. It's our goddamn time, okay? Get out of here, Tom. Sorry, I'm a little angry now.
Damn. Sorry, I stirred that pot. I didn't even put the Chiefs down, and and then you're yelling at me for bringing up Tom Brady. My bad.
No, I was about to say
you're gonna have Bryant feeling like Trent Dilfer, not impressed.
Yeah, with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, they just put up mad numbers. I think Trent Dilfer, when he said that, forgot that Tom Brady played in the early 2000s when they was still run heavy, and I think they said he led the league in passing with 28 touchdowns one year. I mean, like, he played in that era, Trent, and he won multiple times. Did anyone else see that interview, or am I just going crazy?
I saw that, and I think he's just talking about how soft technically that position has become with them protecting them, and you can't, do anything but lay him down on the ground. I think that was more his take, is that he's not impressed because these guys aren't just out there being headhunt the entire game. Like, people aren't trying to kill them like they did in the 90s. So
I did catch last night the 30 for 30. It was on ESPN or ESPN2 about the 2002 or 2003, whatever year it was, the Baltimore Ravens when he was quarterback and won the Super Bowl. I'm like, God, I forgot he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Couldn't remember who it was with.
Yeah, and I watched it. It was really good.
That's what Mahomes' his biggest goal right now this weekend is to pass Trent Dilfer on the all-time Super Bowl wins list.
Yeah, exactly. But just like how good like that defense was with Ray Lewis and Rod Woodson, Tony Siragusa,
Ed Reed,
R.I.P. Tony Siragusa. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. If you haven't seen it, it's good.
If I was Trent Dilfer and I rode the running game that they had in that defense, of course I'd miss those times. He's talking about like it's unfair because they can audible out of shit. It's like, you probably could have as well. Like, you just weren't good enough, Trent. Sorry.
You didn't have to audible because they weren't calling fucking pass plays because you suck donkey dick, Trent Dilfer. Shut the fuck up.
The crazy thing was literally that offseason after they won the Super Bowl, they free agent his ass out of there for Elvis Gerbach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When that part came up in that 30 for 30, I was like, holy shit, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Elvis Gerbach.
We don't miss that guy.
Yeah. No, we for sure don't miss him or Todd Blackledge or any quarterback literally we drafted before Mahomes. Every single one of them sucked. Also, fuck you, Brody Croyle, for going 0-10. I thought he was the savior. 0-10.
Trent Green had a lovable time there in Kansas City. I like Trent Green.
But he wasn't drafted by us.
True. Okay, true.
The Chiefs, I'll have to find the mini doc that I can't remember who did it, but literally the 49ers and the Chiefs have this super weird connection where like 5 of our starting quarterbacks the last 2 decades have come directly from the 49ers. It's such a weird like connection. It was like Alex Smith, and yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it to your Clark.
They're really good at drafting quarterbacks. I mean, look at Brock Purdy.
Yeah, hey, I mean, what can you say?
They didn't draft Jimmy, but they're going to be stuck with Jimmy.
I don't know if I could get. I don't know if I could get any harder if things don't work out in San Fran and Andy Reid picked up Brock Purdy as our backup quarterback. I would rip through my zipper for sure, 100%.
R.I.P. Brock Purdy's elbow.
Yeah.
So guy.
I'm reading through this Wikipedia real quick, and the first year Dilfer started, it was his second year in the league, and it was 1995. He threw 4 touchdowns and had 18 interceptions. He can go suck a big fucking fat one talking about anyone.
Did he play for the Seahawks?
Dilfer?
Or was that Delhomme?
No, he did. So he did the Buccaneers, the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Browns, and the 49ers.
And say, whenever I hear his name, I always think of the Seahawks for some reason. That's who I associate his name with. But
whatever. Hey, he's got the one ring. He can talk his talk. He's not He's not a Cincinnati Bengal that hadn't won shit and starts running his mouth. He's
What-
at least won the big game.
What year was it that Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Ravens?
2012, maybe
Was it 2012?
Yeah.
I
The lights out.
2013, 2012, 2013, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I totally forgot that the Ravens just threw him to the curb like last week's trash,
Yep.
right after winning them a Super Bowl.
And he only played with them one season. And he only had 12 touchdowns and 11 interceptions for 1,500 yards. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That dude should never
yeah,
open his
he
mouth about
won
quarterback
them a
play.
Super Bowl.
How did he only have 1,500 yards and they played like 18 games? There's no way.
He only played in 11, but still.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Still, that's only 150 yards a game. Like, that's not good. Jalen Hurts has bad games and puts that up now.
different era, Joe. You wouldn't understand. It was
Sure.
a lot tougher back
Yeah,
then.
he's not impressed, Joey.
His highest touchdown total was 21, and I've officially made us spend way too much damn time on Trent Dilfer, so we can move the fuck on. I'm sorry.
Good. Yeah, let's move on. All right. Well, then let's just kind of jump into the Super Bowl here, man. Kansas City. I would say we won't get too much because we actually have the betting pot on Wednesday. We'll do our props and silly bets and player bets and shit. But Kansas City plus 1.5 still versus Philadelphia over under 50.5. Anything sticking out to you about any of those numbers right now, guys, or what are you kind of most excited about right now?
I don't think any of those lines are too crazy. I mean, I think it'll be close, and I think that the Eagles should be favored. I mean, they're looking really good, and 50 points. I mean, that's 25 to 26. I can see that too.
I don't know. I feel like the over might be a little high in my opinion. I think these two teams have been playing really good defense here in the playoffs. I think that will continue. But if it goes over 50, I know Mama Kelsey will be happy because she is hoping for all of the offense in this game. She wants both of her boys to have great days.
I've been keeping up with In the Heights the last couple of weeks. It's been getting pretty funny, especially with the mom's interview and like it was like not gun to your head, but it's like, Mom, fight to the death. Who are you gonna vote? And you just tell it's the typical mom like, well, just know I love you both very much. It's like, no, make a decision. We want to know who you're rooting for.
And I like how she turned around. Well, if it was me and Dad, which one are you taking?
Oh yeah, that and what do they say? It had to go to Jason because he's giving him grandkids.
That's right. To which Travis Kelce replies, well, I'm just going to have to find myself a breeder and start making some babies.
Tomorrow he's going to be canceled for using the term breeder. But until then, he's going to
it's official. The Chiefs are going to lose because somebody put a Chiefs shirt on the Rocky statue.
That was a Philly fan.
It don't matter.
Yeah, it does.
You want to know how I know as a Philly fan and a cheap Philly fan that didn't even put a fucking jersey. It was a red shirt that said Chiefs on it.
Yeah,
it was like a rag, and it was like, see, now we're winning. Cheap antics by Cheap City, I'm telling you.
It's I kind of feel like it's going to be their downfall. You know, they've been riding that this far, and now they're trying to use it to their advantage. Whenever it's been falsified, it's your doom.
They're a city that eats horse shit when they win Super Bowls. We expected this point. I've never said it on this podcast that I would eat horse shit in order to win a Super Bowl every year. I've never said that.
Check the receipts. I think you're wrong.
Anyone who wants to prove me wrong, go back and get some additional view or plays on our pods, and then I guess we'll see. But until then, I've never said it.
They've only got a few, probably 100, maybe 1,000 hours worth of time to sift through to find that.
I'll find the date.
Best of luck, my friends.
I'm sure Chat GPT could find it for you real quick.
Oh yeah, Chat GPT. Jesus, yeah, that's that AI shit. I haven't got into it too much, but I've seen some pretty funny stuff from it, like giving it the worst hypothetical situations, seeing a computer trying to logically get back out of it. It's pretty.
What are you
I
looking
saw
forward
someone
to?
leak
Again? What were you saying, Ryan?
I saw that someone leaked the script of the game on Twitter from the NFL. They hacked into the NFL and got the script. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 37-34 Eagles.
Yeah, 37-34 Philly.
Yeah.
But by
Chiefs,
the way,
Chiefs get up by 14 in the first quarter. Eagles come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so pissed if like the first quarter does turn out right. Not because I think the whole game, but it's like, God, some idiot is just going to start pounding his chest because he did some stupid shit and it happened to be the right score.
If that happens, you're gonna be so nervous, like, holy shit, this is scripted. The Chiefs are gonna lose.
So I'm gonna ask this to you, Clark. Are you going to be hosting people, or are you watching this game by yourself?
No, I'm actually going to a party at somebody else's house.
Oh my God, man! Why?
So no, it's going to be great. I've actually hosted like the last couple Super Bowls here at my house, and this year it's like finally, I've got somebody else who's ready to pull the guns and have a great party, and that's Dr. Hall.
So there you go.
It's gonna be awesome. He's only got like 18 TVs in his house. He's got a theater room.
I was are you watching it in the theater room?
I hope so.
I mean, I was at Clark's house when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
Now, was he a great host the whole game, or only when they were winning?
Oh, the whole game.
Okay.
Well, they weren't winning in that Super Bowl for very long. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did you notice that he wasn't offering hors d'oeuvres and everything to everyone when they were down by 14 points?
Yeah, I wasn't offering me beers.
Does any host walk around with a platter like, oh, hey, would you like an hors d'oeuvre? Maybe go with the pigs in a blanket this time, sir. No, that doesn't happen. You put the shit in the crock pot. You have it sitting on the kitchen counter. You want food? There it is. I'll be right here.
Yeah, help yourself.
I am right now, Clark. I'm the opposite. I want to watch this game by myself just so I can be, the worst fan, complaining about on my couch about how Travis Kelce at 6'7", most athletic Chief, that we probably have right now, why he's not making a better catch, or why Mecole Hardman isn't running faster. I know he's not playing, but I mean, I just want to be that fan. And I have a couple buddies that are like, "Hey, we want to watch the game with you." I'm like, then first off, you're not going to be shitheads. You're not going to cheer anything Eagles, because if so, that's the door. I'm not going to, sorry. This is you're going to abide by my rules, or there's the door. And that's where it's like, I didn't even offer it to anyone. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, watching from home, because I don't want to be a bad host, and I don't want to be negative in front of people. And if you're going to invite yourself in, that's fine. But we're not going to, we're not going to make a fun game out of it. I'm 100% focused on this game, Win, lose, draw. I'm probably going to be a poor sport until I see the clock hit 0 and the Chiefs win by 42 points. That's it.
If you're going to lose by 3, it's 37-34. It's already been decided.
Legit, and no offense, not to bring this up, Joey, but unless we have a 5-touchdown lead, because we've seen a 4-score lead get lost, unless we have a 5-score lead going in with like 8 minutes left in the fourth, I'm not going to feel that great, because you just know it can happen.
For them to have 37, who's their kicker? Is it still Jake Elliott at this point in time?
The Eagles, I don't know.
I'm gonna say I don't really think of their team whenever I think of great kickers. I mean, he's serviceable, he does pretty good, but whenever I think of teams with elite kickers, that's definitely the Chiefs, dude. Harrison Butker, he's that guy.
This is the other thing is Jalen Hurts' throwing shoulder. He's still recovering, but he didn't have the greatest game versus the Niners' 4th string quarterback. He didn't have the greatest game because he didn't need to. But like, is that kind of rest versus rust? Do you think that's going to play a factor? Or do you think, honestly, the Chiefs' running defense, which has struggled at times, playing against that line and running game, do you think he's not even going to have to worry about leading at that point?
I think it's going to come all down to O-line play on both sides. Whoever can dominate from start to finish, that's who's going to win. It's going to come to down to that. It's just how good are their lines going to play. That and Papacheco is a beast.
Edwards-Helaire is off the IR, so at least we have a solid, with McKinnon.
A backup.
I'll take anyone. With how we were injured in the AFC, I will take anyone that can jump in and play receiver and anything else at that point.
Better be ready to run some routes.
Yeah.
I agree. Was there anything else you guys want to talk about the actual game? I only had one more thing that is not game related.
Well, I'll touch on what I'm most excited about. Hy-Vee has ribs and chuck roast on sale, so that's pretty sweet.
Hell
Make
yeah.
shredded beef, ribs, and pork belly burnt ends this year. And to touch what you were talking about a little bit ago, Brian, I've known you since you were like 9 years old, and I could not imagine a worse time than watching the Chiefs Super Bowl with you.
Yes.
It would not be great. I've watched plenty of Iowa State games with you, and it's not the funnest time in the world.
You got the text from this Iowa State game this year when both of our teams were absolute shit, and it was the most toxic. No one was even saying your team sucks. It was all Hawkeyes saying that the Hawkeyes suck, Cyclones saying the Cyclones suck, and me just repeatedly saying, "Can one team just lose it? Like just either go out and dominate and win by 2 touchdowns, or lose this game." And they just kept it within 3 the whole time.
This is how much Bryant is not fun watching football with. He forgets that he was down in Missouri during that game, and we were watching it together.
No, not this year. I was in Iowa City.
What Iowa State game were you watching it in Missouri?
I don't know off the top
It
of
was
my
like
head.
week 2. Oh, okay.
I was for sure in Iowa City. I was with TJ because we were sitting at the bar texting you about that game.
Yeah, who's bad now, Joey?
Me.
Yeah, you fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
I am great to watch games with. I'm always the first one to shit on my teams.
Ugh. No, but like I said, I am just definitely like, you're not going to talk. This isn't a happy-go-lucky time. We're in Chiefs mode until the Chiefs win. Then we can talk about how I have my Andy Reid mustache that day.
If you catch any straight text from people, do you just mute it right away?
Oh, I will. No, I'll usually angry reply back because that's why they're texting me. They want to get a reaction. So here's your extreme reaction, and I might insult something personal about it.
Brian goes all Joey Bosa on him.
Mm-hmm. I'm rich, you're poor, you piece of shit. Yeah. Joey Bosa. Yeah, it'll usually be something like that, or to the extent of like, where's your team this year? Oh yeah, they've never been here. To my Browns fans that are texting me, Baker kept it close one game. So yeah, like I said, I'm just not the guy that wants to host. So
Brian's got all these text messages are like pre-typed out and ready to go.
Oh yeah, my hate meter's an all-time high at the Super Bowl. That's for damn sure. So, speaking of hate and the Super Bowl, have you guys seen? They've started it this year, and it was at least one that I've seen. I haven't seen multiple, but Popcorners, which is like a popcorn-based like chip.
I like those. Those are good.
I like them. I do not like that they were releasing their quote-unquote Super Bowl ad a week ahead of time. Like, I even kind of hate when they release these ads the morning of. I want it to be like a movie. The first time I see it should be during Super Bowl. Because if I can watch them all before the game, then why am I paying attention to the commercials,
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen a little bit of like Subway's stuff. I feel like there's going to be more or like a special one for the Super Bowl, but I've definitely seen some of their new stuff already hitting the screen with like Gronkowski painted up Subway colors and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it feels like there's more to that commercial that we have yet to see.
So
it's
I'm okay
super
with
hard to watch games with commercials. Like dealing with Red Zone for the whole entire year and not seeing a commercial during football. Man,
get a little spoiled.
Playoffs are rough. Exactly.
You're like, they play the football on the part of the field between the 20-yard lines. What the
Where
hell?
do I pay the extra $10 for this game so I don't have to watch commercials?
What is this? What is this? The midfield. What are they talking about? I'm red zone or bust. Okay.
They're allowed to step on the logo in the middle of the field.
Not if you're TO stepping on the Dallas Star, then of course you don't get a step on that thing.
Don't even think about it.
But I don't know, like the ones that have like a trailer and there's a preview because like, hey, here's a little 2-minute teaser for the 30-second commercial that's coming up. I like that. But I don't know, between that and STX trying to scam everyone out of their money from last year's Super Bowl. I don't have the greatest feeling about Super Bowl ads. So
What about? Go ahead.
Oh, I say I am pumped for this Coors Light, Miller Lite, greatest beer thing, whatever they got going on with DraftKings. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Gronkowski's field goal for FanDuel for $10 million.
Ooh.
So what?
Well, he's got to make it.
He's got to make it. Yeah, he has to make it.
Yeah, how long is this field goal?
I don't know.
I think it's 30 yards.
Ooh.
So, and then what about Rihanna's halftime show? Who's looking forward to that?
Oh, hell
It's the Grinch, at least from the costume she's wearing in the commercials.
That's Cindy Lou Who. Okay, that's not Rihanna.
Oh.
That's not Riri. Goofy ass hair.
Trent, do you have any predictions as far as what song she's going to be coming out with?
I really don't know a whole lot about Rihanna.
Not as much as Katy Perry.
No, definitely not. I was spot on that one.
Trent only knows 2 big things about Katy Perry. That's it.
Yeah, very
It
obvious.
has multiple #1 hits on it, and he loves the song I Kissed a Girl. Those are the 2 things he likes. But I don't know. I think sure Disturbia is going to be sung. What are the other?
See, I couldn't even have pulled that off the top of my head that she even sang that.
Oh man!
Now
Umbrella.
that you've said that,
Umbrella.
it's like, oh yeah, she did sing Umbrella. It's going to be one of those that every song is like, oh yeah, she did sing that song. I kind of forgot about that song.
There's going to be a rock.
Does Eminem make 2 appearances in a row?
Love the Way You Lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom. That'd be sweet.
I think the BDSM song will be in there. I mean, they got Sam Smith that's just worshiping the devil at the Grammys. They're not going to worry about a little BDSM at the Super Bowl.
Like, nope. Yeah, could it get any worse? Come on.
Yeah, whips and chains excite me. Except, we can talk about whips all we want, but the NFL will not let you talk about whiplash from hits. That's for sure. That's above the line. Okay? Below the line.
I gotta go. You guys are making me too turned on right now.
Joey's all horned up for the halftime show already.
I get it. We're talking about
with my pee-pee.
Oh no, Jesus! Let's move on from this.
Just make sure on that last 2 minutes in the second quarter, you go take a bathroom break so you're all ready to enjoy the halftime show, Joey.
So, speaking of that, I don't know if anyone else listened to PMT's interview with Chris Berman this morning. That was awesome. Listening to his insights and stuff. This is his 41st Super Bowl that he's going to, which is really awesome. Wow. But it's funny you bring up the bathroom thing because that was the only thing I wanted to bring up. When you're there live, because next year when we get our In the Zone passes and we're there live and we're doing all that type of stuff, he said you have to go during the second song because the first song, people are still in line waiting and they're like rushing out to go real quick. But once that second song hits, everyone's coming back with their food. And he's like, then you just stand in the bathroom by yourself and then take your time getting food. And it doesn't even matter what you listen to because they play it all over the place. So, I thought that was kind of funny. It was the best part of the whole interview.
Yeah, I would say when you've been to 41 Super Bowls, you tend to know the tricks of the trade at that point.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It took 10 Super Bowls before he figured that out. So
probably.
Are there any other acts other than Rihanna, or is it just Riri?
She's the one I've only heard about because last year's it was Dr. Dre, and but then there was Snoop Dogg, there's Eminem, there was everybody. I expect there to be multiple stars part of this show. I just don't know who.
Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's gonna be the best part right there.
Yep.
I'm hitting the over on that.
Oh, I would too.
Oh, he'll be hitting some long notes there for sure.
It's going to be a slow one.
Yeah.
Right. We need more of your pipes on the podcast from now on.
Yeah.
The ratings would go up and up and up. That's all I know.
Just like
But then I would leave you guys behind for my record deal with Rihanna. Riri.
She could put you under her umbrella. Ella. A.
Did you hear me? It would be Riri and Bree. So later. If they literally came up to me and said, Homer Bryant, you get to perform at the halftime with Rihanna, but your job is to be in the gimp suit during the BDSM song, I would say, where do I sign? And when does my flight leave out? Also, you don't need to pay me. My payment is being in the gimp suit.
And also, I have a suit. You don't need to rent one.
Trust me, I got a leather already.
Oh, shit.
Well, like I said, we wanted to do just a small preview. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl on Wednesday when we get all like the player props and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, Trey, you're the regular season champion. Joey, I think you're postseason right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you're postseason champion, and then we'll have a Super Bowl champion. We'll have to come up with multiple bets and figure out who gets the most. Get the fucking crown off your damn head, Trey.
Feels good to wear the crown, guys.
I'm gonna knock that crown off your head and make you sound worse than Mike Tyson with his deviated septum there. You're just
regular season champ. I mean, just yeah.
But yeah, we'll have more Super Bowl stuff on Wednesday, so we'll move on from it just so we're not hammering 2 large Super Bowl pods. So movie minute, we're just gonna be talking about The Last of Us here. What do you guys think of episode? Or hold on, Trent.
No.
Yeah. Well,
I'm actually. Excuse me.
Oh God.
I'm actually watching something that you guys are talking about on the movie minute. So
yeah,
it sounds like you got infected. Also,
yeah. I'm a clicker. So watched episode 1 last night. I only got about 20 minutes into it. Shut that goddamn thing off.
Why?
When they killed the dude's daughter, I don't know. Like, I just felt terrible. I was like, I don't even want to watch this anymore.
I mean,
dude, it hit me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's like me, like, I don't know, being a dad or what, but like the military shot this dude's daughter and she dies. I was just like, I'm like, God, I don't even want to watch this, but I kept watching.
It's because you're a dad, because I felt nothing. I was cheering.
I kept watching, and I don't know, it was good. So I got through season 1, episode 1. So, yeah.
Does it make you feel better that he was literally trying to shoot both of them? I mean, he wasn't only holding in on.
No.
I mean, it wasn't purposeful.
So another thought of mine, episode 1. Yeah. How does this go from 0 to 100 in like less than a day? Like, there's like nothing. She comes home from school, and then all of a sudden there's helicopters and military everywhere in a matter of hours.
I mean, I'll say it right here, Trent. Remember COVID? Just one Friday, all of a sudden we're locked in our houses for a few weeks, you know?
I did have this thought. Some people wanted COVID to be treated like this as well. Just saying.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, lock you in your house and military. Everyone that had tactical gear was so ready. This is what they thought COVID was going to be. I got my tactical vest and my 3D printed AR. I'm fucking ready to go. And really, it was like, wear the mask.
So I am going to jump off of this before you guys go on. But should we do our list here while I'm still here?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead, Joy.
I do have an answer to Trent's question, because this was brought up a couple different podcasts. In the game itself, I don't know if anyone ever has played it, but in the game, Clark raised his hand. The contagion can be spread by spores in the air. In the show adaptation, they didn't want to do that. One, because of PTSD brought on by people wearing masks and stuff via the pandemic we just fucking went through. So they didn't want to do that. And 2, they also have these big name stars that everywhere else their faces being covered up, like Pedro Pascal and Mandalorian. Even in Game of Thrones, you don't see his face a whole lot. You see it when he's on screen, but that's about it. But they wanted to make sure that their actors and actresses were able to have their face out there so they could be the face of the franchise type of thing.
Is Pedro Pascal the main dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, it is uncanny. So I watched a video of the gameplay next to episode 1. Mm-hmm. It is uncanny how much he looks like the dude in the video game.
Joel.
It's crazy.
Were you just as turned on by Pedro Pascal as all the other women were by how handsome he was? He looked just like Joel.
That is why I'm watching this, Brian. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna love episode 3 if you love gay love.
Mm-hmm. Trent was like, I was out of it once they killed his daughter, but showed Pedro's face again. And I was drawn right back in.
Yep. Gotta keep going here.
Actually, and yeah, so what we're gonna do here, we'll do it so Trent doesn't get spoiled for episode 4. I made a list. We made lists of our 5 things. So Outbreak Day happened on September 16th, 2003. Or I'm sorry, September 26th in 2003. So a lot of stuff that has happened in our lives in the last 20 years obviously didn't happen because of this pandemic, people dying and everything shut down. So I thought a creative idea would be, what are things that happened in our lives that they never got to experience because of said outbreak? So do we want to do this do we just want to go, one of us start with their 1 through 5, or do we want to go in our orders? What do we feel?
I say we go, everyone does their 5s and everyone does their 4s.
Okay. I'll start here. So my number 5, because I thought it was the dumbest one. Everyone on Outbreak Day, it was still within recent memory that Iowa basketball had made a Sweet 16 within the last 5 years. It was in 1999. That was 4 years within Outbreak Day. So that was pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
All 6 Iowa basketball fans remember that still.
Oh, Pandemic nearly wiped them out. Joey, what was your number 5?
Well, if you've been to Carver, you know that most of the other ones got killed already. All the other Iowa fans, because they're old as shit. My number 5 is also going to make Brian super happy. They've missed LeBron's entire career. So the soon-to-be point leader in the NBA would have not even played yet.
What a blessing.
I mean, they missed that whole 2003 class. Chris Bosh, LeBron, Carmelo.
Carmelo.
Oh, man.
Dwayne Wade.
Cool. Poor Joel.
Right.
So looking at, I just did mine real quick when I hopped on here, but I think Clark and I had the same thought on a few of these.
Yeah, and it looks like Ryan's number 5 is similar to what you and I had there.
Yeah.
I put the streaming era, like literally you turn on any device and you can literally dial up any TV show, any old game. Like you can find anything you want to watch when you want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. And Trent, would you have?
That wasn't my 5, that is one of mine. My 5th one was sports gambling. Like back then, I remember like Sports Center and stuff, they couldn't speak of it. They couldn't say a line. They couldn't say a spread, nothing. I think it was like against the rules because it was only allowed in Vegas, illegal everywhere else. And now it's just becoming a common thing.
I mean, they're posting lines and discussing it actively now.
Exactly. There are shows just for that.
Yeah.
Road to 272. But yeah, so that was huge for me.
You can't watch those in Missouri. They blur all that out and edit it, and it just doesn't show up on our TVs.
It's just black bars across all the screens.
Exactly.
This program is blacked out in your area, just like all MLB games
and NHL.
Ryan, for his 5th pick, had 2020, the creation of HBO Max. Really missing out on some great shows and Netflix. So I think that was a little bit of a meta humor there, one. But again, streaming one just as well. Clark, did you talk about yours with number 5?
The streaming era, yes.
Streaming era, okay. So we'll move on to number 4 here. I guess we'll kind of go in counterclockwise. We really didn't think of this one too well with going around, but
Snakecraft.
Sadly, my number 4, because I have to cell phone myself. Iowa State in the Last of Us history, they're the only 2 seed to ever lose to a 15 seed in 2001. Every other 15 seed winning was like 2012 and on. So Iowa State, perpetual loser in The Last of Us.
Nobody remembers that now because there's been a 1 seed to lose. So,
but
they never saw that happen, Trent.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so we're the perpetual worst loss ever in the NCAA tournament in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
My number 4 is smartphones as we know it. It's literally the internet in your pocket. I really didn't experience those until I was getting into college, like 2006. It's kind of whenever you've had the touch smartphones come along. So, yeah, huge change. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have those anymore unless you're like a truly old boomer and take my buttons or get the F out.
They don't get into their trouble in episode 4 with a smartphone. That's all. I don't want to spoil it for Trent, but
hey, stop it.
What did you have, Trent, for 4?
Mine was the streaming, cord cutting and streaming. Yeah, so same as Clark's, number 5.
I have the greatest era in UFC heavyweight and light heavyweight history. You have the emergence of Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, and then on till you get to Ngannou now. And then Chuck Liddell, Ortiz, Rampage, Sugar Rashad, like all those greats at the UFC light heavyweight division. It was just the golden age, man. They missed all that.
Joey was in 2003. Is that old enough to where that was before Kimbo Slice had that infamous video of him spearing that guy as a safety, right?
Yep.
That was on like Bang Bus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they didn't get to experience that. Damn.
All his backyard brawls and shit with like Jorge Masvidal and shit. Yep.
Kimbo versus a clicker. I would pay for that.
And we also missed him and Dada 5000 both dying in the ring for a fight. And yeah, it was great.
Joey, I think you and me have better stamina in the ring than those two that night.
Mm-hmm. My resting heart rate is down 12 points. So.
Fuck yeah, let's celebrate that. Hell yeah.
And then Ryan had the beginning of POTH, Pulse of the Heartland.
Yeah, best podcast out there. Share with all your friends. Please help us get our views up for the love of God.
Tell everybody you know.
We didn't even do socials at the beginning of this. I'll have to do that.
We'll get them at the end. It's fine. They should know by now, and if not, we'll hang them on the end.
It's only been scrolling on the ticker this entire hour.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's true.
Yep. So join our YouTube, like, subscribe. Okay, we'll move on. Super Bowl LIV. The Chiefs winning their Super Bowl on their 50th anniversary never happened. It's a sad world out there without that Chiefs Super Bowl.
Along those lines, nobody's experienced Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Jesus.
Nobody got to see him get beat by 56 points to the Iowa State Cyclones. They went like 4-8.
Those poor bastards had to live through Trent Dilfer playing football. I mean, my God, I would have just given myself up to if it was like watch Trent Dilfer pass this football or walk into that room full of clickers. See you later, alligator.
The last Super Bowl they got to watch was Trent Dilfer winning the Super Bowl.
Kick out the chair from underneath me. Jesus. What did you have for 3?
Number 3, I had online shopping / Amazon.
That's a big one.
You no longer even have to leave your house to buy anything.
God damn,
hell, we don't even have to go get we haven't gotten groceries in like 2 months. We signed up for the Walmart subscription thing. It was like $100 for the year. Just free delivery to our house whenever the hell we want.
Hell yeah.
Don't have to leave your house to buy anything anymore.
So those poor guys have to scavenge through old gas stations for 20-year-old ravioli, you know?
Yep.
So, Joey, what was yours? Number 3.
28-3, baby. They got to miss out on the Falcons losing and spoiling the largest lead in Super Bowl history. So
good.
Wonderful.
That's a good future then. Falcons never have to deal with that.
Yeah, I wish I kind of died back in 2003.
I wish a clicker would get me.
It would have been right after Iowa lost the Orange Bowl to USC too. So great back to back.
Some Iowa fan in the middle of nowhere. how could this get any worse? And one weekend, it's all over. Fuck.
And then it's either a fungus pandemic or a Christian McCaffrey. Which do you want to shoot yourself over?
Yeah. Ryan's number 3 was the Minneapolis Miracle. That one's a tough one for Vikings fans not to be able to see. 2018, that happened.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I shouldn't joke about that. If you or your friends or anyone you know has suicidal thoughts, please contact the suicide hotline.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah.
Number 2. We know what happened in 2001 in that universe, same as ours. But what they didn't get was John Cena announcing that Osama bin Laden had been compromised to a permanent end in 2011. So I feel bad for Joel and all of them. They didn't get to see him shirtless and everyone chanting USA, everyone going to the bars that night. That was just
hell yes,
not a satisfying end for them.
I remember I lived in Ames when that happened. Yeah, it was a sight.
Yeah, it was like 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. We walk outside, and I literally outside my window, and I lived on Tripp Street, which is like 10 blocks away from the bars, but people outside, it was like we lived behind a Hy-Vee, and I could hear USA chants because of everyone around us so excited.
Was that by West Hy-Vee?
Yes.
I lived right next to West Hy-Vee when that happened.
Weird. Yeah, so I mean, you probably heard it from your neighbors and USA,
Yeah.
So yeah, that random Tuesday night turned into a night of drinking because we compromised him to a permanent end. So speaking of compromising permanent ends, Clark, yours is kind of similar.
Call of Duty. Nobody had ever experienced the Call of Duty online PvP where it is taken over and it's the game to play. So
Joel and Tess didn't do one 360 no scope in their lives.
Pathetic.
And Trent. And I lived through all the Call of Duty, so hey.
You're basically Joel at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, didn't even have to suffer through one-man army in Modern Warfare 2, the first one. Golly. So, Trent, I like yours. What was your? Oh shit, I was looking at Ryan. Sorry, Trent, was your number 2?
Smartphones. Like I said, Clark and we kind of had the same thought on all these, I guess. Smartphones is mine.
Smartphones has got to be up there.
Internet right here in your hand at all time. I mean, in 2003, if you'd have said that, we'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, underrated.
Yep.
Ryan had Tiger Woods 2019 Masters win. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll piggyback off another good one. They should be happy that they missed the Scott Frost years from Nebraska because it was terrible.
Wait, isn't that when he was like actually playing? Was 2003?
Oh God, it might have been.
Let me see here. Scott Frost in 2 seasons. Sorry, we're gonna stall a little bit here. When did he play? He was drafted in '98, so they would have seen him play for. He was playing for the Buccaneers when the Clickers took over. So
they got to enjoy the Scott Frost years.
Yeah, of college.
Yes.
Yeah. Not coaching. Not in Nebraska.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
how many Masters wins did we miss out on Tiger winning?
From 2003? Probably 3 of them, maybe. If I had to guess.
Let's see. He's won them 4 times.
The Masters, or are
probably
you
2. Tiger Woods Masters wins. He's won. Let's see.
2005 and 2019 would have been the only 2 he missed.
Yeah, he lost 2.
Oh. So they got to enjoy a majority of Tiger's prime. That's pretty good.
They didn't have to witness Tiger's downfall.
Oh, yeah, even better. Yeah, they got to see Tiger.
His initial divorce when his wife chased him down and beat him with a golf club.
That's just all part of the legend that is Tiger Woods.
That was Tiger's pre-Denny's waitresses too. He was
yeah.
I mean, that was Tiger on the Wheaties box.
That probably wasn't pre-Tiger Woods Denny's waitress. That was probably peak Tiger Woods Denny's waitress.
I
Let's be real here.
Pre it coming out to public, like he was
Okay,
stop.
Pre-common knowledge Tiger Woods Denny's waitress.
Yeah, he'd go to a Denny's, get a order some eggs, and he goes, "How do you want your eggs over easy?" And
I feel like Tiger's the kind of guy who always ordered the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Well, they say a lot of them are probably IHOP because there's a lot of IHOPs within a 20-mile radius of Augusta National Golf Course.
Well, the other thing is what you don't know is he called it, "Do you want a Grand Slamming?" He didn't ask for a Grand Slamming.
Grand Salami.
Yeah, and then Eldrick just went to town on him. So.
Speaking of which, what's your number one, Bryant?
My number one on the worst things that they didn't get to experience in The Last of Us. We've already talked about cord cutting, streaming, smartphones. You all missed out. The number one thing that they never had in The Last of Us, the hub. They didn't have Pornhub, man. How could you
Greatest
live
search
in a
engine
world
ever.
with no hub? Terrible.
They just had to keep their, movies on their DVD collection.
Yeah, I mean, perfect example. There's another kind of reference to that in episode 4, but I mean, like, oh, cool. We're living through a global pandemic, and I have to use my imagination now. Awesome, love this world. Just take me now. Terrible. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh shit.
My number one was social media. I mean, you can't turn around and not see something about TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, that's everything in the world right now. So
that'd have been about
knocking people.
That'd have been about the time that Zuckerberg was writing the code to it on his window of his dorm at Harvard or wherever the hell he went.
Mm-hmm.
No, Trent, he was taking pictures of somebody else's work and stealing it.
True.
Right.
Yeah. Keep the
Facebook.
Trent, what do you have?
Oh, advancement in modern medicine. Just think how things have advanced in medicine in the last 20 years since. Excuse me, like anything with Clark and I's field, imaging is crazy what we can see now. Like we're imaging down to the molecular level in nuclear medicine, and like these magnets Clark uses are like how many times the strength of the world's magnetic field. And medicine is advancing so fast that I always say once you buy a new camera in imaging, it's outdated. There's something new. Take that over 20 years, with cancer research and all these different diseases that they're, researching and advancing on it. Modern medicine is, it fascinates me.
There, along those lines, there is something that's growing in that industry that's just a thorn in my side, which is medical implants. Just the rate of these devices are coming out with to implant people's bodies, like a little device that can help you with your breathing at night.
Sleep apnea.
It just stimulates the tongue, and it helps it makes your sleep apnea go away. Just like that. Boom. It's got a little electrical signal stimulating your tongue. No more. But it's like a battery generator with a lead that goes to your tongue. It's in your chest. Like, okay, that's going to cause problems for your MRI if that's turned on. So we have to make sure it's turned off. And
so, yeah, why do they not make these whole MRI safe? Like, you think that would just be MRI is getting so big. Why isn't it just like, this is MRI safe, or it's not going to be made?
So there are MRI safe, but there's just different conditions. Like, it has to be this make and model. You have to turn it off, or you can only scan this region of a patient. Like, there's all these conditions that I have to research and abide by along those lines. I mean, I think pacemakers it's pretty common now. You have somebody with a pacemaker. Well, they can still have an MRI because we can put it into an MRI mode where it just ignores everything, just goes at a constant rate. But those didn't even start happening till like 2015. So, yeah.
And even like Amelia's shunt is MRI safe because it is programmable. Whereas the ones that aren't MRI safe can be like you put them in a magnet and it shuts the shunt. So like it's no longer working. It's like, why do you even make the ones that aren't MRI safe anymore?
Yeah.
You guys are making me feel real bad that my number one was Pornhub, and you're talking about implants that help save people's lives. I just want you to know that. Come on.
Brian, if it makes you feel any better, I use yours a lot more than I use theirs. So.
Hey, one of these days you might have to get yourself a penis pump and you go get an MRI, and they're going to have to learn all about it to tell you how to safely have an MRI with that device in your body.
That's for another day.
The penile implant.
If you need to know if it's MRI safe, just search it on Pornhub. It'll tell you.
I'm not sure that one's not blocked at work. I guess I'll have to check next time I need to research a medical device.
Joey, how about you? What was your number one?
My number one is a very, very sad day for whoever would have died in 2003 because they missed my favorite sports event of all fucking time, arguably the greatest college football game of ever, the 2006 Rose Bowl of Texas versus USC. That was amazing. Yeah. I will watch that every single year until the day I die. That is still my favorite game.
Reggie Bush would have just walking on campus with $250,000 in a duffel bag. When
Vince Young wouldn't even have been starting because
Reggie Bush's mom would have been moving into her new house. Joey, are you sure it's 2006? Are you sure you didn't mean 2016, the 2016 Rose Bowl?
What was the 2016? Was that Iowa?
Touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. Oh, fuck. Iowa fans just heard it again. God damn it.
Either way, they missed both of them.
It's time for me to go. This was fun.
And then Ryan ends it out wholesomely. They would have missed the birth of his daughter in 2020 with Ezra. So we ended on a wholesome note. We had some funny ones, some sports ones. I kind of like this. I think we should do more of these like lists or little debates on silly stuff like this.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I like it too. That's going to be the Funcast when football's over.
Yeah, if you want to let us know who wins this and has the best list, go on our Twitter and let us know.
People need to give us ideas on what to list or debate. Jump into our DMs. Yeah. Speaking of jumping into DMs, I'm jumping out of here so you guys can talk about episode 4.
All right, man. Get to feeling better, all right?
Yeah, thanks. Maybe by Wednesday.
The show.
By Wednesday, the voice will be back.
Good.
Drink some hot toddies.
Need those hot picks from you. We need regular season trend again.
Yeah. Go drink some Katy Perry hot toddies.
I will not disappoint you guys with my Super Bowl picks.
Kid's sick, but he's got enough energy to put his damn crown on. Get the hell out of here, man.
See ya.
Cut him off, Brian.
Out of here. All right. Episode 4, titled "Please Hold to My Hand." I guess I'll let you guys. I feel like I've been talking a lot. What do you guys think of this episode?
I'm not up to date.
Not up to date. Well, Joey, I guess it's up to you.
Do you want me to? I'll try not to spoil anything because obviously this is coming out the night after.
I'm aware of how the story goes, so I'm still watching the show for entertainment. But
okay, so storyline is Joel and Ellie leave Frank and Bill's. They make it clear to Kansas City and then run into some new people. We get introduced to a bunch of new characters. There's a new faction going on. It's not Fedra. It's not Fireflies. They end up getting in some shooting, some gun war against this new faction. This new faction searching for a certain person, and then very end of the episode, a big surprise happens. I'll leave it at that. But I thought it was a very good reveal of this new faction and everything going on with it. I don't like the main character of the faction. She played Charlie's girlfriend she played Rose in 2.5 Men. It doesn't fit her.
I think it does, but for the longest time I'm going, why do I know this woman? And it was she was Charlie's like stalker girlfriend.
Yep. I don't know. I just didn't like that pick for the character, but who knows? Maybe she'll grow into it. But I thought it was a good episode. You learned some more about Ellie and Joel's relationship, and they kind of hit it off. And it's pretty awesome, man. I'm taking a screenshot of this. Bryant, your camera froze. I'm using that later.
Yep, I'm sitting here waiting for it to come back.
That's being kept. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's the third episode kind of took a break from the whole zombie apocalypse type stuff. You got a different storyline, a one episode storyline, and I like that they moved back into it. As much as I really like that third episode, I want to see where this story goes. So yeah, I thought it was good.
Can you guys hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt now this sounds dumb because once I wrote it down, it feels like this is just every TV show. But this feels like, doesn't the show kind of feel like a video game? You're kind of growing, with the people, and it's like, first episode was the introduction, the long intro. Then the second episode, you see a few clickers, and you're like learning how they fight them. And then you have the heartbreaking love story of episode 3. And now we're going, okay, so now on top of the clickers, now you have raiders. Now you're dealing with another. It just feels like, with it being episodic, it feels more like a video mission more than a TV.
And I agree with that. I think that with this whole universe already being established, it's very linear how the characters are moving and how you're moving from place to place. And as much as they are exploring, there needs to be key points on how they move the storyline. And I think it's awesome. I really like it.
Yeah. And every single time, I think we've finally seen enough like survival video games where they do get ransacked by a couple raiders and they kill them all. But like at one point, the gun that they, sorry, man. Like you said, you've played the game. You know the spoilers. But Joel gets jumped, and then she pulls her gun out that she got from episode 3 and shoots a guy. And immediately, he's immediately going into panic, going, no, we're cool, guys. And you see him like have to put a raider down. And, they kind of have that discussion of her growing more like, you're actually not this innocent girl. You have injured and, I finished the kill, but like, you can see he's finally starting to trust her a little bit. He lets her keep the gun. They go over some safety stuff. And I don't know, I've really, this one was not as interesting or as, as big as episode 3. I don't think whatever episode 4 was not going to live up to episode 3 in my opinion. But I think this was a good one where, like in any video game, wow, things are going swimmingly and all of a sudden turns to shit. And, they're fighting for their lives at that point, which, I don't know, man. I just, it's kind of fun not knowing, the people that are playing the video games, they're getting the nostalgia of, look at all these direct dialogues, fan service that they're doing, because I know the magazine scene was like pulled directly from the video game as well, like exact dialogue as well. So they're kind of getting that nostalgia of these two great actors and actresses that are doing this job. But I honestly, it's hard for me to come up with any negatives on the show so far. Usually it's like, oh, it's slow paced or whatever, but it's been hitting on all cylinders in my opinion.
I'm curious, how's the lighting in these next few episodes? Is it dark?
Yeah, no, they haven't forgot to just turn the lights on, like the beach scene in House of the Dragon, or like any other. Amazing. You just have it during the day, or it shows dark at night, and then you show the room light so we can fucking see the act. Amazing. There's dark scenes as well, but you can still see them. I just
How can you do that?
Yeah,
you can't do that. You gotta have at least one episode that's just pitch black, and all you can do is hear voices. Come on.
Yep. So most of the time when I watch HBO shows and stuff, especially if I'm on the road, I'm using my laptop, I hook an HDMI cord up to my TV, and yeah, it's even worse because I can't control what the contrast and shit is. And this series has been amazing looking, even from a laptop to a TV. It's been awesome.
You know what the craziest thing though was, Clark, because you missed it. There is a Raider in a Priest Holmes jersey.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh. You had me so excited.
I mean, I think I might rep my Priest Holmes jersey on the Wednesday's pod, but no, I had to look it up. I was almost gonna say that Dick Vermeil guest starred in it, but I don't think he'd believe it. So.
He's enjoying retirement by guest starring.
Need someone to coach up our troops. Get Vermeil in here. So yeah, I mean. It ends on a cliffhanger. at every stop they make, they are, they're taking every precaution so people aren't catching them. The beginning of the episode, they have someone that's kind of just watching them but doesn't do anything. Into the episode, they do end up getting caught, and that's where it leaves it. I mean, nothing is getting. We're not giving anything away at that point. You can kind of tell the episode's going how it's going to end. But man, I mean, this is one where it's like appointment television. I'm watching that Sunday night so nothing gets spoiled.
And this week is coming out on Friday because of the Super Bowl.
Oh shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, what's Sunday? Just kidding. Interesting. I guess I didn't know it was
going to be at home with one focus, nothing else, all alone. Stay off of my text messages. I'm watching football.
I'm watching The Last of Us.
I'm glad I said something because you would have been like having your iPad set up, waiting for HBO to bring it on. You're like, wait a second, this came out on Friday.
No, honestly, I'm usually a loser staying in and playing video games anyways on a Friday, so I'll get to throw that in there, take a little bit of a break, eat some supper, But yeah, I mean, again, this is just one of those shows. I think, I mean, I've been actively encouraging people, like, have you played the game or do you watch HBO? Do you have it? If not, this is a show to jump onto immediately. Mm-hmm. There's a few shows, I get it. They want to binge it. People waited until the end of Game of Thrones so they could just binge the 8 seasons, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting into the watching it live. Netflix has just desensitized you to like binging 4 seasons worth of a show in a weekend. It's kind of nice week to week having this cliffhanger. I haven't felt like this with like Game of Thrones or anything since Breaking Bad. Everything has just been released all at once lately. That it's kind of nice that week to week suspense build up and what are they going to do next rather than like play next. I have to know it now. I'm kind of getting over that.
Yeah. I usually try to keep up on the big HBO shows that are weekly. That's the only network I do it with. Most of the other time, I just binge whatever comes out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And also screw Netflix.
Why is that?
Well, because of their password bullshit that they're doing. So that really sucks for me, and I'm just canceling it. Fuck them. They already raised it to $25 for multiple screens and all that shit. So fuck that bullshit.
Not worth it. They are. It's funny. That's one thing. I was like, maybe I should get Netflix. I'm trying to even think like, is Better Call Saul season 6 on there?
Not yet.
That's like the only thing I would jump and again binge for a weekend, and I'd never buy it.
I'll give you a clue. There's plenty of free places to watch it.
I know. I'm lazy. I almost am just gonna wait. Like I've waited this long. What's the point of not, waiting for it to just come out on a normal app?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I guess this was just me announcing to you since you have my password.
Oh, I don't have it. I lost it. So I haven't watched Netflix in months. So
good.
The only other thing I was going to say on HBO, don't watch Velma. I heard everyone was shitting on it. So I was like, I'm going to give it a chance because one, I'd like to join in on the shitting on it. And it's got some bits that are okay, but boy, it is a tough watch. It's just, I'm trying. I've gotten through all 8 episodes, and they're only 20 minutes. That's the only reason why I'm getting through them. But like, boy, just not fun. Like nothing. LOL, laugh out loud. I kind of, a little smirk, tee-hee here and there. Just not funny, man.
Yeah, some of my least favorite Office episodes were written by Mindy Kaling. I hated the Mindy Project. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her comedy. Her style is just not for me. So I'm not going to shit on her or anything. It's just not my cup of tea. But as soon as I heard Velma was written and produced and everything by her, I was like, I don't think so. And then I'm trying to find out it was getting bad reviews. I was like, nope, that definitely not for me.
It's got like a 1.3 on IMDb, man.
Woof. Yeah. If you are looking for something, though, I did start watching Poker Face on Peacock, and it's really good.
With the girl with the cigarette voice?
Yep.
Lions?
Something. I don't remember.
Matter. No, I didn't say. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. Velma actually has a 1.4. They actually went up lately.
Ooh. You gave
but
it a 2.
I mean, honestly, it's a rounding average because they've only had 63,000 reviews and they're at 1.4.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, name one of the worst shows you've ever just randomly off the top of your head, or movie, doesn't matter. I just want to kind of, compare it.
Christmas Vacation.
You fucking son of a bitch.
I'm kidding.
For comparison, Christmas Vacation 7.5. Joey, you son of a bitch.
You're right.
Hot Tub Time Machine. I'm just trying to think. Hold on. Hot Tub Time Machine 6.4. Hot Tub Time Machine 2 5.0. 2 is one of the dumber things I've ever seen, and it's like 4 points higher.
Oh, good grief.
All right, we're losing some steam here. Let's get the hell out of here. Joey, do you want to hit him with the socials since you were worried about that earlier?
Oh, yeah, I can. Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter at Heartland Pulse. Just search Pulse of the Heartland on Facebook and YouTube. Catch us live Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, all on YouTube. And then we're on all of your major streaming platforms the day after. So,
yep. The major platforms?
The major platforms. Sorry, I was hanging out with my nephews yesterday, and that's how we talk.
Oh, you want to watch some Netflix? HBO Max? All right.
Exactly.
Shit, we do appreciate everyone that joined us live and everyone listening. Like we said, we'll be doing more of these debates. I think these were kind of fun coming up with silly lists. But if you do think anything, feel free to get us on the line. Otherwise, we'll catch you later. We appreciate you listening.
Bye, everybody.